We are here today with Liam Wood of Letiverse. Liam Wood, I got to pleasure of meeting Liam, and actually I saw his work before I got to meet Liam through the Digital Twin Awards. So we saw the ship in, which was a fantastic model, and I thought you did just a phenomenal job with that. So I had to reach out and get the full story behind it because it just seemed super interesting what you guys were doing with it. And so that is what we're here interested in talking about, Liam and Letiverse. And so by all means, if you've got experience with, Matterport, we'd love to hear what you have to say in the chat. If you have questions for either myself or Liam, please use the Q&A panel for that. They're both in there somewhere in your Zoom app, and that's it. So let's get started. Liam, first of all, hi, and what's going on?
Hello. Yeah, welcome. Yep. And hello to everyone around the world. Yeah, been a privilege, really. It's been a bit of a strange year. So, a little bit of background. We're not from computing. We're not from sort of the 3D world or camera technology, etc. We've been involved in sort of multiple sectors, and sort of fell upon the idea May of last year to come up with these interactive tours. And obviously we launched with the ship in January, which was our first ever tour. And it's all been a bit of a whirlwind, really, because obviously we won the award, and there were some amazing tours in there. We're along the roadmap, but there's so much more that we want to do, and Matterport's been great. It's been an interesting year.
Yeah, for sure. So your submission to the Digital Twin Awards with the ship in is obviously your first.
Yeah, so as I say, when it's all of the staff, bless them. We was doing construction a year ago, along with a funding business that we've got, and it sort of it come to me the idea, I guess. I was looking at buying a glamping site, and we got a drone survey done, and we got it rendered, and then I sort of saw the 3D tour. And I was like, that's cool. And I said to the guys, can we put somebody's advert on the side of the glamping pod? And if you use a ClickSat, can they go out to their website? And they said yes. And that was it, really. That was like 1st of May, I think. And I think we incorporated on the 28th of May. And then it's been all learning and development since, I guess.
Did you give up on the glamping site as a result?
Yeah, for now.
You said, forget glamping. I'm going to do Matterport instead. So the surveyor who came out to scan the site, they used Matterport, maybe some other technology as well. And you saw the Matterport, and you're like, wow, this is really neat.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think, obviously, I'm aware of, movements in 3D, not because I've been involved with them, but, we've had the Metaverse. We've obviously, Matterport have had a massive growth trajectory, and even kids games, Roblox and Minecraft and things like that are all going that way. But I've never really been involved with it. And all I did sort of realize back in May, I guess, of last year was there's a lot of premium brands that are doing 3D stuff solely for themselves. And there doesn't tend to be any sort of villages or towns or places with real businesses in. It's all a little bit sort of made up, if you like. So that was the idea, really, of the Letiverse, was to display businesses, but not replace a static 2D website that's out of date with a 3D tour that quickly goes out of date, and try and do it so that we can keep it fresh, and we can keep it relevant. Otherwise, I feel like a lot of 3D scanned tours and venues, they sort of have that upfront injection of time and the money outlay, a bit like a website, and then they get old and they don't get replaced and if anything, they sort of just become static.
Yeah.
So that's
So
what we're trying to avoid.
are you, does that mean that you're trying to kind of marry, a website that is by nature should be, it's not always, but should be a little bit more updated, dynamic, and kind of, with information that is up to date with a Matterport tour, which is, I mean, essentially is not a living version of the property. It's a time and space. It's like you captured what it was like when you captured it. It's not what it is today, and you're trying to kind of continually bring it
Yeah,
up to date,
yeah,
like you would a website.
yeah, definitely. I think having businesses myself in other industries, I feel as if there's a real problem now for most small businesses, so 90% of businesses that haven't got huge marketing teams and budgets, where a website, um, nobody's got the time, the money, or the expertise to keep it up to date. Socials, I think everybody on here, would agree that businesses advertising on there, are classed as spamming and everyone's sort of, trying to scroll past the adverts as quick as possible. And I think for me, eventually the internet, I think will move towards 3D and move towards interactive spaces. Um, because simply put, websites now are glorified directories just to quickly jump on and get an address or a phone number. Um, and socials, I think, are really difficult for businesses to advertise on, um, which sort of leaves a huge gap. Yeah, I'm not saying we fixed it, but we're trying to blend sort of interactivity and user stickiness with freshness and keeping things up to date. Um, and there's a long way to go, but that's the mission.
Yeah. I've got the chip in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that everybody kind of has a better understanding of what we're talking about. Because this is really cool. And what you are talking about when you say, websites, if we can be a little bit more specific, we're talking more kind of retail establishments. If
Yeah,
it,
yeah, 100%, and probably, yeah. I mean, even more so than that. I think just in general, just all SMEs, all small businesses, really.
yeah,
The business owner and staff typically at the minute are limited by time. They're not experts in web design or anything like that, and obviously the money costs and the outlay. So you'll find that a business will inject that time and money once, and then it just sort of gets more and more, dated, if you like. So
yeah,
with our concept, we're taking away them three barriers of time, money, and knowledge. We do it all. So we do all the scanning, we do all of the overlay pages, we do all of the content creation, upfront and ongoing. We cover the costs, which I know is a bit weird, and I know you want to talk about that a bit later, but we cover the costs, so it's free. And obviously we've learned what we've learned so far, and obviously our pledge is to keep improving it for the businesses that are involved.
that's very cool. So you can see, I mean, obviously we're walking through a Matterport model, but you've got a lot of assets here and things that we're not actually here. I mean, this is clearly, positioned here. Anything that's got one of these little borders, is an advertisement, essentially.
Yeah, so I mean, 80% of the framed, we call it Letiverse Blue placements, but about 80% are actually to do with the venue itself, and our goal is that advertisements like you've just seen, are the user's decision whether they click on that or not. They don't pop up in your face. They're not all over the screen. And we try to to put them in relevant venues or even relevant areas within that venue. So most of the things that you see as you navigate around the tour is to do with the pub. It's to do with the shipping.
Hmm.
Great place. I've known it for a while now.
Yeah.
And we embed, so it's a bit like an onion, but essentially we take the Matterport tour. It then goes to MP Skins, which is a fantastic platform. I know most of you listening, will be aware of it. But without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. It's a fantastic CMS. It's a great visual staging and editor.
Hmm.
So it's a big part of us. And then we embed that within our React website. And then the pop-ups, when you click on things, then layer over the top of that again. So it's multi-layered. And then obviously we've got a lot of content. Nearly everything you see has been created on various platforms. I think we're running 32 APIs at the minute.
Well, yeah. So for anybody who's not familiar, MP Skin is a platform partner for Matterport, and they build on top of the Matterport platform using our SDK and API, which allows for all sorts of things like this menu here, navigation, and I mean, a huge amount of flexibility, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah, so we're
Um,
combining the both from there, and it is tough to make sure that they don't conflict and that they complement. But the logo you see up the top left isn't MP Skins. That's Letiverse side.
this one over here,
The
yeah.
Digital Twin Awards down the bottom left is MP Skins side. The feature hunt is MP Skins side. But Letty, the little help bot in the bottom right hand corner, that's our side.
Hmm.
Um, so we obviously try and do it so the user wouldn't know any different. They're just in the page.
Yeah.
But it's a bridge between the two. And we tried to launch in August of last year, and the bridge wasn't strong enough. And we had to go back to the drawing board, and today it's better. And obviously we was blessed to win that award. Um, but we've still got a long way to go.
So you were saying how, I mean, there's a lot going on in here, and there's a feature hunt, and it's it's like it makes you kind of want to keep moving around to discover all these new things everywhere that you have. So it looks like, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'm not sure if my audio is playing through the Zoom. Um, so there's a tremendous of stuff going on here, which just makes it that much kind of more inviting to walk through the space and just discover as much about it as you can. And I mean, do you find that that makes customers kind of want to get there to the ship in? Because I mean that
Yeah,
at the end, that's the end goal.
yeah, definitely. I think for us, it's that mirror-like reality. So we need to. All right, okay. There's a ref standard on the pool table. You wouldn't see that if it was in the pub, but everything that we create for all of the venues, it's important that it obviously adheres to their brand standards, color schemes, etc. So this Letiverse tour will be different to the next, to be different to the one after. Um, and also the features within. So in here we've got the quiz, we've got pool team updates, we've got a lot of the bands that play at the venue. We've showcased them all around the tour. But then if you go to one of our other tours, it may be a bit softer. It may have different features and functionality. So we're
Yeah,
not
let's check that out.
yeah, we're not
Another one here.
templating anything at the moment as such. It is all bespoke. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean,
my shining
obviously a
star.
very, very
Yeah,
different feel for this one. I've got some animated characters.
Little Ellie.
And again, you've got some, virtual posters on the wall. So let's just get back real quick to what you were saying. You are going to this business and you are scanning it for free. You're providing the scan itself for free. You're not charging for that. What about hosting?
No, no, no cost, no cost up front, ongoing for the scan, the development, the ongoing, the hosting. No, it's all free, free for the host, free for the venue.
So you're providing them with a free scan. Hosting is free. Um, but you've got ads, so obviously you're making your money with the ads, but it doesn't end there, right? You're also kind of splitting that.
Yeah, 100%. So well, I'm not splitting 100% because then we definitely would be out of business. But no,
Leave you with nothing.
yeah, that's right. We're 50-50 with the venue. So if anybody pays in the construction zone, actually, it's a great company, Nexus Plant Hire. But again, that's where it's contextual. They're obviously a construction based business, and we've put them in that zone. But what they pay, half is for the Letiverse, and half goes to My Shining Star, the charity, and that's the same with the pub, and the same with Calypso, another live tour we've got, and others that are coming up. Um, so yeah, the host gets it for free, and obviously gets half the revenue. So yeah, we've got quite a few waiting to go live, as you can imagine.
I can imagine. I mean, basically, you're signing up. The worst that could happen is it doesn't cost you anything and you don't make anything. That's the very worst case. And it essentially you could just end up making money off of this without spending a dime
Yeah,
as the business owner.
it sounds mental, and it is a little bit. But yeah, we call it the backwards business model. But I feel like in life, but in digital space, and especially with AI at the moment, I feel like the gap is widening. The companies that have got the money and the knowledge, etc. I'm not saying extortionating or overcharging for it, but I feel as if the divide's getting bigger. Um, we we didn't want to charge because again it's going to eliminate 80-90% of the businesses. It also means that you've got to sell it, you've got to market it. We designed a business model that essentially they pay with their audience, they pay with their audience that trust them as a business and a brand. So the host shares us once a week on social media um, in exchange for a free tour and a profit center rather than a cost center. So we win in the sense that we've got no um, internal marketing budget because eventually, as more and more tours go live, the venues will market us. And they win because they've got a, 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 um, a highly interactive 3D tour that represents their business respectfully and adheres to all their brand guidelines and will keep up to date, fresh. And as tech evolves, we'll evolve, and all of the tours will stay fresh and keep better, rather than a race to the bottom. And I feel like there's some operators, Matterport operators, and somebody will do a tour for 400, somebody will do it for 380, somebody will do it for 350, 300, 250, and I actually think some of the best practices are then cut as well. Prepping the space properly and the mesh properly, and learning the new features, because people end up busy running around and working for less. So it was just a model that worked for us, and so far seems to be working for the venues that are live.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean it like you said, it sounds mental when you say it, but in the end, everyone is it seems like the incentive structure is better, is just better. Like you're incentivized to do obviously a good job scanning. You're incentivized to bring in ads because that essentially is what pays you. But it also is what pays the business owner, and so they too are incentivized to bring in ads and kind of bring them to your attention in a way, and kind of be a bigger part of the whole development of this thing. Do you find that business owners have actually have done just that? Like they are more engaged than they would be otherwise because there is just that revenue stream.
Yeah, I think so. I think so to a certain extent. I mean, obviously we're only 4 or 5 months in, so it's really new sort of concept and new in the journey. And for every positive of the business model, Amir, there's a negative. I mean, from our perspective, it's obviously got to upfront all of the money for the scanning, for the hardware, for the AI costs, the API costs, the staff, etc., etc., in exchange for a long-term partnership with these venues. There's a lot of trust from our side that they will share and that they do that pledge once a week, because that's really all that we're asking, or not charging because it's free. But effectively, as I say, if they don't pay with the audience, then yeah, you could end up with a situation where you've fronted out X amount, and you don't get that traffic to the tours, and you don't get that trusted audience. Um, so there's risks, and I guess my team's challenge is to make sure that users obviously visit, and that they come back, and that they interact, and that they tell others, and that's all organic and not forced, which again is a challenge. And I'm not sitting here today saying that we've cracked it. It's a very promising start. The interactivity and the user stickiness is close to where we want it to be by now. But we got a long way to go. And obviously we've got to be able to scale the model. It's okay doing it 3, 4, 5. But it's been able to take that to 100 venues, 200 venues, 500 venues, which is the plan by 2029.
Yeah, do you feel like this is scalable? Because like you said, you have to keep updating it. So every one of you, as you get more and more under your belt, that's more and more content that needs to get updated.
Yeah, definitely. And as I've said, we do use AI. We don't hide behind that. Um, and AI in itself, although we're improving, AI itself is improving. So it is for me, it's a really interesting space. I think sponsorship um, is very important to us, but we need to get the users first and foremost, and then naturally it will be easier to get businesses that want to showcase their business within a venue. So there's a lot of metrics behind the scenes, and a lot of KPIs that we're working towards. We haven't hit them all, but it's been a great start. And as I say, to win the award was a privilege. Some of the other tours were fantastic. And I didn't know whether ours was possibly a little bit too much out there. But it was great. Really happy. Now we've just got to keep pushing that boundary, and just keep as you add more features, as MP Skins has more features, as all the other 30 platforms adds more features. It's just trying to keep on top of it all and evolve the system.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. That's great though. Fantastic. I saw a couple questions coming in, so let's look at that. Charles asks, are the ads and videos inserted in Matterport, or is that a separate service? We touched on that. You're using MP Skin as a platform partner, a Matterport platform partner, to embed some of it, but you're also doing that yourself.
Yeah, so MP Skin, the thing that I think MP Skins, I think is what is world class, and we have tried others, and we did in the early doors. But for me, their virtual staging, the drag and drop element of MP Skins is fantastic. So easy to use. Um, so what we do at Letiverse is anything that effectively you see within the tour itself, we still manage through MP Skins. So obviously the Matterport comes over fairly plain. We turn off most of the features. Then we'll add in the elements, whether it's the dancing elephants, Ellie, or whether it's the placements on the wall or the fire, that they'll all sit within MP Skins layer, and then their action, if clicked and interacted with, is an overlay page that is at letiverse.co.uk. So it overlays the frame. So there's three main elements to it.
Got it. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So on the like the landing page layer is where Letiverse is kind of a layer on top of the embedded Matterport, which
Mm-hmm.
embedded Matterport is really not the Matterport link, it's the MP Skin link that allows you
Mm-hmm.
to kind of have that layer in between the Matterports. You've got a Matterport Foundation, you've got MP Skin on top of that, and you got Letiverse on top of that.
Yeah, and I think MP Skins obviously uses Draco compression and very it's very good for us when we was loaded in the heavy React overlay pages. We haven't seen loads of them, but we've got quizzes in there, we've got games, we've got features, we've got obviously loads of audio, video, etc. It was hard to control the loading of all of that. Obviously, with ours, none of that is loaded when the iframe loads. Only the bits that are within MP Skins, and we still add some spatial awareness to that as well, so it doesn't all load at once. Then only if the user obviously clicks will our side kick in, and that's the bridge that I spoke about earlier. So at the moment, heavily use MP Skins HTML extender. They've brought out an AI agent called Devi, who lives within their CMS. Devi is fantastic, and you can preview it obviously before saving it. So if you want to experiment with AI and some features, then that's been a great addition.
Nice. Fantastic. And so, I mean, where do you want to take this? What's the next step? You want to have all all businesses have a Letiverse instead of a website? Do you see it kind of being another place where people can go? Maybe the website is, like you said, it's less of a website, more of a Google My Business listing where they just go in to get the hours, phone number, and address. Whereas the Letiverse is really about the business.
Yeah, I mean, I think actually a few of our venues might be on this webinar, but speaking to the team, I think at least two or three of them are discussing replacing the website with the Letiverse tool. what we need to work on, Amir, being honest, is some people just want to open a website and grab a number. And I think, we don't want to then combat that by having a really dull address, phone number, email, contact form, um, that overlays all the time and is a bit sort of boring and takes away the 3D bit. In the same breath, in that shipping tour, their phone number is in there, but you don't want to be exploring, a venue. I mean, we've got some golf clubs coming up, and you don't want to be walking all the way around to try and find the telephone number.
Right.
So I think for us, and Arsenal did it last year. They won the award the year before us, but they still sort of had a traditional framing around the tour. So we're working
Yeah, I
on
remember the
version.
Arsenal tour is good. They're very well done.
Yeah, it's really clean, and they've segmented it so you go to the area that you are, rather than one tour like I do and others do. They have split it, so you go to the museum or the shop or whatever, and we didn't, like me and the team didn't like that at first. But actually, like the ship, for example, Neil, you basically just walked the heat map that every other user pretty much walks, and actually there's loads out the back in the garden, and there's loads elsewhere, and that are getting maybe 10% of the views and interaction as the route you've just walked. So there's version 2. We're hoping to have user-led experiences, so that if users come back, it will know where they were before, it will know their preferences, what they like, and it will land them in different places, or it will recommend different places, rather than it being the same for all. So for us, the spatial side of it, and telemetry, and working out exactly what users are doing within it, using like flags and events, is the next evolution for us, so that we can custom the experience to the user, and be able to offer more analytics to the sponsors and the venue itself.
Yeah, so you mentioned something interesting, the heat map, kind of the direction that I took. Is that on top of, the layers that we can see, and the embedded assets? Do you do any kind of back end metrics? Are you looking at, are you developing heat maps on where, most of the people are going? Are you providing that kind of those statistics and analytics to your customers?
Yes, or not. So today, no. We can say how long they've been on the site. We can say what pages they've looked at, etc. Um, version 2 will be the eyes. So version 2 will literally, as people are, as you know, with Matterport SDK, obviously, you've got pretty much an eyes feature in there. So we'll know exactly what they're looking at, and what they can see, and we can, if they're a bit stuck or they're dwelling for a little while, then we can then, something might pop up and encourage movement, etc. So we're implementing that, and we're also implementing that into little Letty, the little help bot down the right, in the bottom right, and we're moving towards conversational avatars, which Sam, who's the sales director, his is working great. So soon we're hoping to get players, if it's a sports club, or helpers if it's a shop, but not gimmicky, not cartoony. We've invested a lot into studio, our end, and we're close. and I'd love to get into a stage where, you know, people are in the tour and can see others in the tour. But that might be version 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah. I've always thought I've loved the idea and of hopefully somebody, maybe you can do this and if you can, let me know and help out however I can. But sports clubs, anywhere where there's a fan, we were just talking before we went on. I was talking with Christy about F1 racing. We had someone come on about the McLaren team. Like a long time ago. Anyway, it'd be really, really cool to have a model of all these kind of the back end. So like Arsenal, you've got the model of, how it is on the inside. What fans don't get to see. And like you're saying, including, assets of the players themselves talking and saying all this stuff and kind of, I don't know, I can't remember what it was. I was talking to somebody. It was about, I think, the Chicago Bulls in their locker room. They have a bull right in the middle where you can't step on it. So everybody who goes in the locker room, you got to like walk around it. So little kind of fun things like that that I never knew that, and it'd be really great as a fan when you want to know everything there is to know about whoever, if it's a player, if it's a F1 racer, I don't know. Um, just get it all in, and this would
Yes,
be a really cool way to do it.
so basically we were meant to launch with a sporting venue. This was back last year, and for multiple reasons, it never comes to fruition. But we had 4 or 5 of the players as avatars. We had created songs for all of them. You could look back on obviously their videos, history, stats, etc., etc. We've got Hawkins Cricket Club is going up next. It's the next Letiverse tour to launch, and then we've got Bradford Bulls Rugby Club is after that. And because of the size of Bradford Bulls, obviously back in the Super League, which is great, and the history of the club, there's a lot to do, but that's hopefully going to tie in with version 2 and the next phase of Letiverse. I think for me, it's one of the most powerful and important things, but you've got to get it right. The teeth can't be weird, and it can't swear, and it can't break the rules and the guidelines. But you don't want them to be static and slow and that as well. So we've tried multiple different avatar-based platforms, and we've found one now that we're happy with. So CVI is the tech that we're working on, and we're close. Is all I'm saying. I'm not promising you can dance around the pitch with all the Bradford Bulls players, but it's going to be good.
It's getting there. Yeah, I've done some playing around with AI avatars also, and I agree. It's not there yet. It's getting there quickly, and it will eventually get there, where it's going to look really, really good.
I
But we're
think what's
almost.
more important for us is to give everybody in the club a space. So at the minute, for example, as we said, websites are typically out of date. And certainly not current enough for live scores or uploading a video from the weekend or whatever, unless it's the first team. So on socials, if Bradford Bulls were to post about every single bit of community work they've done, every disabled team, women's team, children's team, or whatever, then they'll just spam it. They'd be posting 50 times a day, 100 times a day. So what's important for us in the sporting venues is to have zones. Have zones for the fans, but also have zones for the under-12s team, the under-14 girls team, where they can upload their footage and have their space amongst the bigger venue. At best, what they normally get is a secondary social media account, that's got 20th of the following of the main one, and or outdated information on the website. So for us, a massive thing about the sports will be to encourage all of the development teams, the youth teams, and every other element of the venue to come forward and to data dump us with everything they got, and we'll create them their own bespoke places within. Might be on the pitch, it might be out the back, so that they've got their place.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's not just sports, also musicians. I think would be great. Anything that has a fan base. I think fans, super fans, all that is they just want to absorb as much information as possible. They'll watch the documentaries on Netflix. They'll do all that stuff, including get into a Letiverse and see this snippet of the character. Their whatever.
That's the dream. That's
Yeah.
the dream.
That's cool. Very good. Love to hear from anyone attending, what you think of this. To me, this is very new, very different. I've not seen this before. We've talked a lot about um, Matterport service providers who do the traditional way. We just had, Paul Grassoff last month, and he's doing a great job, but it's reaching out via phone. It's you pay me, I provide you with a service, and this is just completely different. Not only is the customer not paying, the customer ends up making money off of this. So just pretty cool. Like I gotta say that's that is new to me. Let's check out some questions that we've got here. And yeah, anything from our attendees. Okay, so should we post the website, and just in case, if you go to Letiverse, let's go. Where is it? There we go. All right, just posted the website for anybody who wants to just visit and check it out. So Elliot says, I saw on your website that you scanned a golf course. What were the challenges while scanning that property? Also, what was the club's initial reaction to having a model made of their course?
Yeah, so we've got a couple actually. We've got a couple coming up. So they're a little bit further back in the pipeline. So there's 15 venues that have signed up at the moment. The golf course was scanned with a Pro 3, but also was drone scanned as well. I think for us, it's going to be a challenge because of the sheer size of it, and it's already merging. I think it's 4 spaces, so it's already merging 4 spaces. We then obviously want to then load the 3,000 scan points up with tons of interactivity, etc. So I think the initial plan will be to probably remove and it's back to what we was talking about with Arsenal, remove the transition between the holes. So you'll go from, you can go from the pin at 1 to the tee at 2, but maybe not do the walk through the forest and whatever to get there. And it may be that we have to approach it similar to what Arsenal did, and essentially on Letiverse's side have framed separate slugs for each area of that venue, because you've also got the clubhouse, you've got the shop, you've got the cafe, and whatever else we sort of add into it. So truth is, we know what we want. We want it to have basically the same as a watch would. It'll be able to basically tell you where you are. You better walk the course. It will say how far to the pin. It will tell you previous results, handicap calculators, etc., etc. And Sam has got a local pro on board. So we're hoping that we could have that local pro as a conversation avatar that can help you depending on where you are standing in the tour. So it all sounds amazing. There's a lot of work to do on that one. That's certainly not not ready to launch yet.
It sounds like an undertaking. Are you then somehow, I don't know if merging is the right word, but um, providing visitors with a way to see the drone and then somewhat seamlessly kind of zoom into the Matterport model?
Yeah, so we haven't done on the free on the ones that are live at the moment, but the Ridge Golf Club, which is in Kent, they're going to be our first one where we're gonna try and do a bit of a bounce between the drone and the Matterport, but it'll still predominantly be an aerial view, and then you go back down to the Matterport for the movement. So we haven't done tons and tons and tons with drones or lidar drones or anything like that as of yet. It's been discussed, but we got to get your bit right first, a bit before we can take on any more, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, are you scanning the entire golf course? Like what, 18 holes with a Pro 3?
Yeah, so it's already scanned. So it's all scanned. We've got it. It's over to MP Skins. I believe a lot of the routes and the scan points that we don't want have been turned off. And it's performing okay, but with nothing in it. So if we was just doing it with a menu overlay and and some tags, we could give it to the golf club tomorrow. Obviously, we don't want to do that, and that's not what we promised to the venue. So, yeah, there's a lot to do.
We have to break it up into multiple models just to kind of reduce the size and strain on the bandwidth.
Yeah, definitely, and I think one thing that we haven't got to on this on this call so far is a lot of venues that haven't got a venue that they want scanned or choose not to use it for whatever reason. We're not excluding them either. So we are working on fully CGI Letiverse tours, and then we're taking them panos and then we're embedding them into Matterport, and then we'll deal with it from there exactly the same as we would if it was scanned. So that's coming along really, really well. And I think the first non-Matterport scanned Letiverse should be live in June. So that opens up, people that do e-commerce but can't afford a shop, the business rates and the staff. Well, we can build them a shop, in their brand and their style. It could be influencers, it could be podcasters, it could be anyone. And we'll then add, we'll then add them into Matterport, which I know you couldn't do, or you never used to be able to do, but you can now. And so we're still going to use Matterport MP Skins layers, just not physically photography scanned with 360.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so creating a virtual space that doesn't exist in real life, which is typically not what Matterport does, but you're using the Matterport platform because it's just a good way to present and pretty easy navigation.
Yeah, so we're obviously using other systems like Blender, etc., and then we're exporting as panos, and then panos get uploaded as if we scanned them. So we're adding in scan points to Blender, and then they come across, and Matterport's AI stitches it all together, and then from that point, it obviously moves forward the same as a scan tool.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you're creating the space virtually pulling the panels from it and essentially using those as though you scanned them to create a there's an import for anybody who's not aware. In the Matterport app, there is an import 360, and you can just pull in a 360 panel from anywhere, even one that was virtually created. So, very, very cool way of doing that. And then you can create essentially, like you said, it's a virtual space that doesn't exist in real life, only in Matterport environment, I guess.
Yeah, and then hopefully we can when we get to product in the next phase, we could also do a little bit of hybrid where, a small sports venue may not have a club shop, but we could potentially add the club shop on. I mean, it's
Yeah,
key for us that it doesn't become metaversey, and it doesn't it keeps that reality, and it keeps that the brand guidelines and all of that. So it's a tough balance between adding in dancing elephants and adding in virtual shops that aren't there. And what we don't want to do is detract from actually that venue, that brand, and that business. So we talk with the hosts all the time, every day. What are they happy with? What would they like to see? Um, and they're certainly pushing us to do to keep developing it and do more,
yeah, yeah.
which is good.
I can only imagine. But that's very cool. Yeah, you can create just like we saw with the ship in. You can do all that into a virtual space and really play with it in many different ways. All right, let's see what else we got here. We run a photography service full time. We're featuring Matterport scans as our primary offering, and we have begun prospecting and cold calling commercial real estate agents. But we're having major difficulties in marketing our services. Do you have any suggestions? We also have aerial footage as part of our offerings. So, I mean, it sounds, this comes from Robert. It sounds like more the traditional route, which there's nothing wrong with that. But anything that, I mean, you got into Letiverse and offering this kind of business off the bat. You didn't even try the traditional route and then kind of like stumble on to this. You just saw this as the option, as like the right way to go.
Yeah, I mean the only thing I'd say, and we're strong believers of it, and actually it's relevant to our sponsorship model more than it is the actual the scans and the venues. But I think sometimes it's easier just doing it and then saying, "Do you want it?" So it'll all depend on obviously budget and time and whatever. But I think if you're confident about your product and you've targeted the right people, which 100% obviously the housing market is, then actually sometimes you're better off just doing a couple and for free and saying, do you want these moving forwards? It sort of for me, it takes away the sound a little bit and a few of the barriers. And then convert that then into an agreement, whether you do that per listing, per house or whatever, and offer them a 2-3 day window to get to the house or whatever. So I think if I was charging for it, I'd still do a little bit of an element of this is what I've done. Do you want it? If not, I'll just turn it off. And actually, percentage wise, I think you'd get a really high conversion rather than to sell it in words or a cold email. That's what I'll probably do.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being a value. And also, if you can provide the analytics and say, hey, you can see for yourself how long people are staying in this, model, this virtual experience versus, on this website. You can actually compare the two very easily. So you can provide those statistics. And like Liam is saying, just say, hey, you know what, there's a better way. Check out the The episode that we had last month with Paul Grassoff also, cold calling is brilliant. It works very well for him. And just say, I see that you've got a rental property, is something for sale, whatever, and you don't have this or that or the other thing as for terms of, marketing. I think we can do better and just do it for free. Provide the statistics, and then let them decide whether, this is worth it, this is not worth it. And I
And
think once you
I
get a
don't think
client,
anyone,
they would use you going forward.
I don't think, Robert, I don't think anyone's added, again, things like conversational AI to a viewing, and again, the amount of mileage and wasted time that estate agents do running around, to say a commercial office, and then they turn up and go, no, this is too small or whatever. If Yeah, and I'm more than happy that, if anyone wants to send a message through our Facebook or send me an email or whatever, I'm more than happy to share what I've experienced and what my team's experienced. But I think again that would be a really cool angle to go down the route where they've got their own sales assistant that is in that property and that does a little bit of pre-qualification prior to the viewing, maybe, and actually does data capture.
I agree with that as well. I got to be honest, Matterport is great and definitely, serves has a lot of value in it. But if you kind of take it up a notch, especially with something like the Digital Twin Awards, static Matterport model is one thing. But then when you bring in those added elements using the SDK, just enhances the experience so much more. And maybe now agents have already kind of seen Matterport, they're used to it, but they haven't yet seen that next level. And that might be what kind of does it for them. So offering that as well.
Yeah.
Good. Hopefully that helps, Robert. Yeah, best of luck. But yeah, I don't know that we have any more time, to be honest. Um, Anything you want to share last minute? We pretty much at time. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with it and explain all about Letiverse. I think it's absolutely awesome and brilliant. What you're doing. Any kind of like last thing that you want to say about how to get a hold of you if they need anybody who wants to reach out, where to find out more about Letiverse?
Yeah, I've just seen it. Who's on the chat? Sam or Ella. I don't know if you could put my contact in or whatever into the chat. That would be really helpful. But no, just basically, it's been a blast already. It's been great. I mean, even the fact on here is awesome. And I just think it's important the way that computing and AI is moving forward, and we're all involved with it, whether it's software or hardware. It is just keep an eye on the changing features, keep an eye on, what you're doing, what others are doing. Is there a better way? It's 2026. If things are taking ages and ages and ages, there probably is a solution. There probably is one that's clonable or out there already. So yeah, don't overcode, don't vibe code, just take best practices and implement them. And yeah,
Sounds great.
that's it.
Sounds
Really.
great.
Oh, and
Couldn't agree more.
Sam's one of the other directors at Letiverse. He just put his number in as well into the chat. So if anyone can't get hold of me and
Oh,
wants to ask some
fantastic.
feedback, Sam's on that side as well. So
Perfect. Great. So you guys have that information, and there you have it. All right, Liam, really appreciate your time and knowledge that you've shared with us. Letiverse is just brilliant. I love seeing what you guys are putting out, and it was cool. And I love the business model. I think it's brilliant. I would love to see this as a new way of discovering businesses. Just because, I mean, let me tell you, ambiance is very important for a lot of people, my wife included. And knowing what a place looks like before we get there, for me, it's more about like the food. Does the menu item look good? But for her, it's got to be the whole thing. And so this is this is the way to do that, and I really hope it takes off.
Thanks, Amir. Thanks for everything.
All right. Thanks very much. Really appreciate everybody listening in, and have a great rest of the day. Take care.